difficulties in the previous class? You can ask me if any doubt or any difficulty. Equations you all learned? You can ask now any doubt. 2 more minutes are there. All of you learned all the equations?
Yes, ma'am.
Chlorine we were learning, isn't it? So we learned the method of preparation and the some equations. Ammonia, anyway, it is not in the book, then we will not learn. Okay, so facing a problem in learning equation. Abhishek, you have to learn along with me in the class. I tell you now how to learn. Okay. So when I give you little time, I give you now, Abhishek, you keep a rough book with you and then rough book with you and then you learn. Anand is there? Anand? Anand joined? Who is not there in the class? Anand is there, okay. So then, who else? Only 12 children. Ruchi will not come today. Okay, 8:30, I will start. So, yesterday we learned easy equations for chemical properties of chlorine. And now sodium hydroxide, that is very important. Reactions of chlorine with sodium hydroxide, okay? So there two reactions are there. One, chlorine reacts with cold dilute NaOH and the second one is hot concentrated NaOH. Like that only they will ask you. They will mention in the question whether it is cold dilute NaOH or hot concentrated NaOH. Okay. Why these children are coming late? See, after 8:30, I should not admit any child. So tell them to come fast. 13 children only are there. So two equations which are very important. Abhishek, you try to learn now itself. So before writing the equation, you must know that what is happening, what is going to happening. So what is going to happen. And so it here two types of reactions with the cold dilute NaOH and hot concentrated NaOH. Still 14 children only. What is wrong today? Tell them to come fast. Okay, I will write equations. By that time you learn, then others will join. So first cold dilute NaOH. So before writing the equation, you should learn, just to learn, you should know that what products are formed. With cold dilute NaOH, you will get the chloride and hypochlorite, ITE, chloride and hypochlorite. So that sentence you are going to learn now. Say along with me. With cold dilute NaOH, chlorine forms, so chlorine with NaOH, cold dilute NaOH, it forms chloride and hypochlorite, ITE, NaOCl. So learn that sentence. All of you learned? Chloride and hypochlorite, ITE, that is chloride, you know, sodium chloride, NaCl and NaOCl. Okay, so with hot concentrated NaOH, it forms chloride is common and water is the byproduct. So sodium chloride, NaCl and water are common. And the second one is different. Instead of hypochlorite, it will form chlorate, NaClO3. This much you learn by heart. Then we will write the equation. So once more you'll say along with me, with cold dilute NaOH, chlorine forms sodium chloride and sodium hypochlorite and water. In that, sodium chloride and water are common. So with cold dilute NaOH, sodium chloride, sodium hypochlorite, and water. With hot concentrated NaOH, it forms sodium chloride, water, and sodium chlorate, NaClO3. Clear? So this much you learned, then we will write the equation. Okay? So I will write the equation. By the time you can learn also, Abhishek. So what I said, can you see the board? Okay. NaOH plus chlorine. We are learning reactions of chlorine, isn't it? This is cold and dilute. So what do you get? NaCl. We already learned by heart in statement. NaOCl. This is sodium hypochlorite. ITE plus water. So this much skeleton equation, this is otherwise you cannot learn by heart. Skeleton equation is written, which I said. Again look, sodium chloride, sodium hypochlorite and water. Now balancing only left, isn't it? So it is almost balanced. Water is 2. So anyway, 2 sodium is there. So we have to put it is balanced, right? So learn this. So after learning, we will write the next equation. So learn now and you have to tell yourself these are formed. No, you will not forget. You will not forget, Abhishek. This is the way, this way. And then you have to recollect. After some time, after learning, you have to these equations. Out of that, ma'am said these are very important. Am I able to remember? Like that repeated learning is required. Then you will remember. This is done after doing this. Tell me. Done. So the next one, isn't it easy? So the next one we will write. This is NaOH. This I will rub it off. You can see this part clearly. The bottom part of the board. Okay. So NaOH. This will be hot and concentrated plus chlorine. Plus chlorine. And you already learned you will get NaCl plus NaClO3. What is the name of this and water? Out of that, these two are common. This is sodium chlorate, isn't it? And so here we will now balance. Now only coming slowly. See, they are disturbing us. Why are you late, children? Now we have to balance. Okay. So we will see oxygen. Oxygen. Here I told you, you remember when I taught you ammonia equation, I said you remember, you learned two numbers 8 and 3. That time I said with hot concentrated NaOH, you learned 6 and 3. You remember, children? So you have to, otherwise it takes lot of time. With the hot concentrated NaOH, you have to remember these two numbers 6 and 3. And the next thing, out of 6 sodium, you have to put like this 5 NaCl. Remaining, you can balance. Understood? You will remember. Whenever hot concentrated NaOH comes, you remember that is 6 NaOH and 3 chlorine. So, out of the 6 sodium, 5 NaCl. Here you have to put 5 and NaClO3. Now, coming to the remaining of balancing, and 6 hydrogen, so 3 water. That is it. It is balanced, isn't it? So learn. Shashank, Ruchi, and one more is absent. Who is that?
Priyanka, ma'am.
What happened to Priyanka?
I don't know, ma'am. I messaged her, but she didn't see it yet.
Hmm. Okay, so you learn both, very important. After learning two equations together, you learn, and then we will go to the next equation. Okay, I am giving you time, going slow, and Abhishek, you tell me whether you learned or not, and then practice. It will be fun. Rough book you have to keep and keep writing. Those who finish also again write. You are saying you don't get time, so here in the class itself you study. After learning, tell me, we will go to the next equation. Done? Why you are not saying? Two equations, we know that cold dilute sodium chloride, sodium hypochlorite, water. Hot concentrated sodium chloride, water. Isn't it? No. Okay, good. So you have learned. So we will go to the next equation. Next equation is preparation of bleaching powder. We can prepare bleaching powder from uh, chlorine. You know that how you must have learned in lower classes preparation of bleaching powder from chlorine, and for that we pass chlorine through calcium hydroxide. So we will get a bleaching powder. Here also, before writing the equation, you should learn the formula of bleaching powder and the byproduct. That is the way. Then you will not forget. Okay, so bleaching powder, it is by passing chlorine through calcium hydroxide. And bleaching powder will be formed and calcium chloride and water, this much. Now, what is the formula of bleaching powder? Bleaching powder is CaOCl twice. In some books, you will see CaO2Cl2. So here in your book, it is CaOCl twice. Okay, so we will see that bleaching powder for preparation of bleaching powder. So question can be asked like this: what happens when chlorine is passed through lime water? Lime water is calcium hydroxide, isn't it? So that way also they will ask you. Okay, so we will write the equation. One minute, I'll write calcium hydroxide plus chlorine giving calcium OCl twice. This is bleaching powder, calcium chloride plus water. So 2 calcium, you can put a 2 here, isn't it? And so now we will balance. Hydrogen will be here 2 into 2, 4. So 2. And oxygen will be 2 into 4. So here 2 and here 2. Balanced. And chlorine is only left, isn't it? So this is balanced. So you learn that.
Ma'am,
Yes, Anand.
why is only calcium used for this?
Bleaching powder is having calcium in it, na?
Can't we use any other metal?
No, bleaching powder is that only, na? CaO2Cl2. Bleaching powder contains calcium.
No, I didn't mean like that, ma'am.
Ah,
Like some other with a bleaching property, can't we use some other metal?
I didn't understand the question. Which metal you will use?
No, not exactly to form bleaching powder. Any other metal can be used to form a compound like this.
No, that such compounds are not existing, na? The compound also should be there, na?
Okay, ma'am.
This is bleaching powder, okay? You learn all the three equations you learn, children, fast.
Done, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, done, children? So the next equation, we will go to the next equation. Next equation is reaction of chlorine with hydrocarbon that you already learned. Methane substitution reaction takes place. CH4 plus Cl2, so CH3Cl, isn't it? So substitution reaction will be taking place, and then both methane and ethene, two reactions I will write on the board. hydrogens, you know that. One hydrogen you learned last year. One by one, each hydrogen will be replaced. So substitution reaction. Ethene, see, if you write like this, you will understand. Can you tell me the product? Double bond will become single bond and each chlorine will go. This is the product, isn't it? Last year you learned, you remember? So instead of that, they have written like the C2H4 plus Cl2. What is this? C2H4Cl2. You understood?
This is reaction of chlorine with.
Chlorine with hydrocarbons. So
Yeah.
first hydrocarbon is alkane, methane. Second example of alkene, that is ethene. So in the second case, addition reaction, because ethene is having a double bond, isn't it? So
Yes.
that is why they have written like this, C2H4Cl2, to show that I did. Okay, addition reaction.
Fine.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Yes.
Priyanka said she's not well, so she won't be attending today.
Okay. Okay, so now the next one is very important, oxidizing property. Okay, so chlorine is a powerful oxidizing. It is an oxidizing agent, but chlorine water is an oxidizing agent, and four examples are given. One, it oxidizes ferrous sulfate too. So why I am saying you will learn this before writing the equation. It oxidizes ferrous sulfate to ferric sulfate, and second one, sodium sulfide to sodium sulfate, and the third one is sulfur dioxide to sulfuric acid, and fourth one is iodine to iodic acid. Ready to learn? So you have to learn certain things, then only you go to the equation. Okay. So first thing is there, it is connected with, it is an oxidizing agent. So it is a bleaching agent also. So when I taught you sulfur dioxide, I said bleaching by sulfur dioxide. Bleaching of sulfur dioxide is by reduction. And I gave a question also, isn't it? But bleaching by chlorine is by oxidation. So bleaching action of chlorine is permanent. That is one question. Now the second, give reason question before going to equations. The second question, why is chlorine acting as an oxidizing agent? The reason is chlorine water. Chlorine water, it produces nascent oxygen. Okay, so to give reason, third give reason question, Why is chlorine water on standing loses its yellow color? That is because it forms HCl and HOCl. That is why both are colorless. So chlorine water on standing, it forms HCl and okay. So
Ma'am, can you repeat all the questions once, ma'am?
yes. You want to write, you can write. The first question, it is in the book. What is in the book, you underline. You take that ethene plus chlorine. Their chlorine water on long standing loses its yellow color due to the formation of HCl and HOCl. So that in the book you can mark. All of you underline. You understood? Why is chlorine water loses its color? So the answer is, it is due to the formation of HCl and HOCl, hypochlorous acid. Okay. And so the next sentence is the oxidizing action. The nascent oxygen is responsible for oxidizing and bleaching property of chlorine. And then equation down, it is given Cl2 plus H2O giving 2HCl plus O. So that is required. Okay, now see that part I will explain. Yes.
This is the equation you said for nascent
I
oxygen?
am going to write now. Equation you leave. You underlined the sentence?
Yes, ma'am.
So two sentences.
Ma'am, the permanent bleaching property of chlorine is because of oxidation.
I'll tell you later. Okay. So two questions you got. Why is it losing color? Why is it acting as an oxidizing agent and a bleaching agent? Because of the formation of nascent oxygen. Now that part I am going to explain. That part I am going to explain. Okay. So here, chlorine water on standing, it forms HCl and HOCl, hypochlorous acid, right? And now this HOCl decomposes to give you HCl and oxygen. If you want to know how the equation comes, okay? When you add both, what happens? This will get cut, isn't it? So chlorine plus water giving 2HCl plus nascent oxygen. So this nascent oxygen is responsible for bleaching and oxidizing property. So if the question comes, you can write it. You don't have to write this. This I wrote to make you understand. Okay. So this is here. So you can write this equation. That is given right at the end. Okay. So you understood this happens. The first sentence they are saying HCl and HOCl, and HOCl you will get HCl. When you add, you will get. So if they ask you the question, you can write this equation. All of you write that.
Ma'am,
Yes.
this equation is for the bleaching property of chlorine.
Yes. Okay, done. So now the next question which Naomi asked. Why is bleaching action of chlorine? Why is bleaching action of chlorine permanent? Have you written the question? Why is bleaching action of chlorine permanent? So what is the answer? Bleaching action is due to oxidation. That is why it is permanent. So the answer, the bleaching action of chlorine is due to oxidation. Bleaching action of chlorine is due to oxidation. Okay, done. Understood, children?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Now we have to see the 4 examples, very, very important. So they may not ask you to write, that's in indirect questions only. What is the action of chlorine water on sodium sulfite? Sometimes they don't say chlorine water also, sodium sulfite. So what, Prashant? Oxidation. It is oxidation. Nascent oxygen, yes. Okay, atomic oxygen. So that normally we write O2, now there we write only O. That means atomic oxygen. Okay, so see, first you learn the equations. We are going to the equation. You have to learn the following things. 4 examples are given. The first one is chlorine oxidizes ferrous sulfate to ferric sulfate. So first one, ferrous sulfate to ferric sulfate. Second one, sodium sulfite to sodium sulfate. Third one, sulfur dioxide to sulfuric acid. Fourth one, iodine to iodic acid. Okay, so I am going to write the skeleton. You are going to learn by heart. Then we will write the proper equations. These many things you have to learn. So I'll come to the board. Now, I said ferrous sulfate to ferric sulfate. This is for learning by heart, easy way. Okay. And second one, sodium sulfite to sodium sulfate, Na2SO4. And third one, sulfur dioxide to sulfuric acid. And fourth one, iodine to iodic acid. This. And out of these 3, we use chlorine, water. Chlorine and water. And here only chlorine plus sulfuric acid. You learn now these things. All the 3, last 3 we use chlorine water. In the first case alone we use chlorine with the sulfuric acid. Okay. And another thing, byproduct is HCl. This is the byproduct. If you know this much, if you learn by heart this much, then equation is easy.
Could you explain it again?
This is for easy tips to learn by heart. Okay. So first, oxidizing property of chlorine. 4 reactions are there. The first one is ferrous sulfate to ferric sulfate. Chlorine will oxidize ferrous sulfate to ferric sulfate. Second one, sodium sulfite to sodium sulfate. SO2 to sulfuric acid. Iodine to iodic acid. So 4 examples only are there. And I told you, in all the 4 cases, byproduct is HCl. So all these things in your head, then it is easy to write. And in the first case alone, it is chlorine and sulfuric acid. In the 3 cases, it is chlorine water. This much you learn by heart, then we will start writing the equation. Say,
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Say and learn. Then otherwise it is difficult to learn those equations. That we will write equations, children.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now we'll start. So first one is FeSO4. FeSO4, chlorine. I said here alone H2SO4 and Fe2SO4 thrice plus HCl. That's it. I told you HCl is the byproduct. So skeleton equation easily, if you learn like that, you can easily write the skeleton equation, isn't it? Now we have to balance. 2 ions, so we will put 2 here. And so SO4 becomes 3. That is done. And hydrogen, it becomes 2. Done? So right. So the first thing, all these 3 things you should know. Byproduct HCl, ferrous sulfate to ferric sulfate, here sulfuric acid, here alone sulfuric acid. Write and learn, then the other 3 we will write. Okay. Okay, children. Next one we will write. Abhishek learned. How is it? Abhishek? Done? Okay. So now the next one. Next one. And the next ones are all with, yes. Next ones are with the chlorine water. Okay. So Na2SO3 plus chlorine plus water. You know the product. Na2SO4 plus HCl. Easy, isn't it? So we have to balance. It is this. Balancing also easy. Okay. Now next, all 3 I am writing similar type. So next one is sulfur dioxide. Again, chlorine water. Chlorine water. You will get H2SO4 plus HCl, isn't it? And so here oxygen is 4 here. So you can write 2 here. So hydrogen becomes 4, 2 here, then 2 here. Balanced, isn't it? Understood? These 2 write, then the next 2 will write. Or iodine. One more is there. That also I will write. Iodine plus chlorine water. I said HiO3 plus HCl. Now iodine 2 here. See how I am balancing? Iodine 2 here, so I write 2 here. So that is balanced. And now oxygen becomes 6. 2 into 3, 6. So I have to put 6 here. And then hydrogen became 12. Isn't it? Out of 12, 2 are here. Remaining 10. I have to put 10 here. So 10 chlorine means 5 Cl2. Clear? Balancing in the last. Other balancing are easy. Now learn the 4 reactions and write. Anybody wants me to explain? I will explain. The lower part of the board is not visible. Okay, write this. I will rub it off. Have you written this? I'll write again the last one. First one I will rub it off. Last one I will be writing again, okay? So last one here. First one I am rubbing off. So iodine to iodic acid. All of you listen. Iodine plus chlorine water. You will get HiO3 plus HCl. Right? HCl is the byproduct. Now we will balance. Now here 2 iodine. So I am putting 2. So oxygen becomes 6. I have to put a 6 here. And the hydrogen became 12, isn't it? 12 out of that 2 here. So I will put a 10 here. So chlorine becomes 10. So 5. Clear now? Balancing. Prashant. And all the 4 learn together. After learning, tell me. All the 4 learned, isn't it easy? Okay, good. So now, today whatever we learned, you are going to write. We learned first one, sodium hydroxide with the chlorine. Then formation of bleaching powder. Reaction with hydrocarbon. And then these 4. So how many? 7, 8 equations you write now. 8 equations write and tell me. Okay. Much time I cannot give. This is just to make you learn in the class. Done. Good, Abhishek. Now you are able to, and lot of practice you do, you will only develop an interest. Okay. So this 8 equations we learned, and then 9th one is that Cl2 plus H2O giving 2HCl plus oxygen, nascent oxygen. Give reason question also, that is important. That is why, because of the formation of nascent oxygen, it is acting as an oxidizing agent and a bleaching agent. Why these children are leaving? Varsha left. Who is not there? Arbas? Pankaj is there? Pankaj? Good. Are you learning the equations, Pankaj? Nowadays you are not learning. Okay, test. I am not at all happy with you. All the 8, Anand? All the 8 equations you did?
I'm learning.
Learn and write all the 8 equations required. Okay, like that. So then chlorine part is clear. Very good, Vishnu Priya. Prashant, very good. Prashant is becoming smart. Okay, again and again write, Prashant. Bharati, children are smart. Bharati learned. Yes, Pankaj, test you did not do well. 11 mark you got, na, if I remember. That is too bad for you. Oh, all the children, 8 equations written. Very good, well done. All of you have written 8 equations. Good. Okay, so we will move ahead. So coming to the uses of chlorine. Why, Pankaj? Why on sheet? Then for me correction will be very difficult. In that correction is very easy. And others are writing, na? And answers you have not learned last exam. Subjective question also without learning you came. What difference does it make? Writing on the sheet or on the... What is the difficulty? Jay also did. Very good, Jay. So I'm moving ahead. So coming to the users, see the last use is a question in the in-text. Name 2 poisonous gases which can be prepared from chlorine. So you go through the uses. Out of that, the last one, the preparation of poisonous gases, underline because it is an in-text question. Anand,
Phosgene.
phosgene, not phosphine, phosgene. COCl2.
Phosgene.
Phosphine is pH 3. This
No,
is
I told phosgene, ma'am.
phosgene. In chloroform you learned, na?
Yes.
That same phosgene. It is a poisonous gas. And so poisonous gas, you see the question, name 2 poisonous gases which can be prepared from chlorine gas. So phosgene, tear gas. Tear gas, you know, na? What is tear gas? Police if the crowd is, they are not able to control any crowd, violence or anything, they put tear gas, isn't it? So you can learn the formula also, even in competitive exams. CCl3NO2, that is tear gas. And then mustard gas. Mustard gas is a poisonous. In World War One, if we inhale mustard gas, we die. Means after a particular extent. So in World War One, it is lethal. In World War One, they used mustard gas to kill the enemies. So this, and even you can learn the formula for general knowledge. Mustard gas, you see, 2CH2Cl at both the end, CH2Cl. In the middle, CH2S, CH2. You can learn it for general knowledge also, mustard gas. Okay? So in word,
Mom, why do we need to prepare poisonous gases like phosgene?
this is for they prepare for this only for killing the World War One so many years back, na, for killing the enemies.
Currently, of what use it is it?
Currently, you can see mustard gas maybe for some preparation purposes. See, this phosgene we use for making plastics and pesticides. So there will be some use in the preparation. So with carefully they do. Even poisonous gases we can. Phosgene is in plastic industry they use. In pesticides they use. Like that. Okay. So that is about chlorine. Now we will go
Ma'am,
to...
where is tear gas used?
What is Isha?
Ma'am, where is tear gas used?
Tear gas, police see if any violent crowd there to disperse the crowd, they use tear gas. Haven't you seen in TV and all? So
Yes, sir.
that is
Ma'am, tear gas is poisonous, right? If you use that, it will kill people, no?
not killers. You cannot. It will not. It is, see, any gas is having some side effect, not lethal. Lethal is mustard gas. Then they used for that purpose only. I said in World War One, mustard gas. Okay. So these all are having side effects, but that will not kill. The tear will come and you cannot see anything. You will run away. You cannot stay there. That is why they use tear gas. Okay. So questions you understood. Chlorine, so many questions are there. We will move ahead to HCl. Right? And the last sentence you see, it bleaches chlorine. They are saying after that index question, it bleaches vegetable or organic matter in presence of moisture. Bleaching effect of chlorine is permanent. You wrote that question. Why bleaching effect is permanent? Because bleaching effect is by oxidation. Okay. And Abhishek wrote something. Also used by women, pepper spray. Which gas? Tear gas. See, Pankaj, self-expression, one more question only I am giving. Na? Answer you write. Na? If you want, I will show the answers of some children. Very, very well written. And so the children... No. You have to unit test, you are saying, Pankaj, you have to write in the form. Okay? Then other children also know it is becoming form, Google form you can write. And I have to submit that to ma'am also, na? I am submitting, you know that. Every time I am submitting. That these are the proofs. Okay. So now coming to, so we have 10 minutes. Coming to HCl, we will start HCl. HCl, method of preparation. So it is by the action of sulfuric acid on sodium chloride. Okay. And so two methods are there. I will write on the board.
Ma'am, zinc granules also we can use.
What?
Zinc granules
For?
on like preparation of HCl, I guess.
You cannot write all the possible reaction. Preparation means there are those HCl will be produced, but it should be produced in enough quantity. We will see the cost, all that it is economical or not. So that is how they are researching on all that and giving the method of preparation. So you have to write method of preparation. And see, normally for 12th class they may not ask you method of preparation and all. Everything will be twisted little indirectly, but reaction you should be knowing. Okay, how do you prepare HCl? Like that question you normally we don't see in 12th standard. Everything will be indirect questions. So method of preparation. So NaCl plus H2SO4. So you will get NaHSO4 plus HCl. So balanced. Now another method from this NaHSO4 plus NaCl, you can get Na2SO4 and HCl. So two methods are there. Sodium bisulfite also with NaCl and NaCl with the sulfuric acid.
Ma'am,
Two methods.
ma'am, is sulfuric acid added in a lesser quantity?
What?
Is sulfuric acid added in a lesser quantity?
You are saying because of NaHSO4?
Yes, ma'am.
Sometimes you get Na2SO4 also, and it is that is the byproduct. It happens like that only. It is not of concentration of sulfuric acid.
Fine, ma'am.
So equations, easy equations only: sodium chloride, sulfuric acid, and again sodium chloride with that byproduct NaHSO4. You can get hydrochloric acid. And after doing, tell me, we'll go to the properties. Done? Okay, so Temperature, no need. Okay, so they may not ask you the method of preparation. So very important temperature conditions you learn. And before I start with the next topic, see the new book, the latest book. Any one of you take a picture of interhalogen compounds and then send it to me. Okay, after the class, interhalogen compounds. Okay. And so now coming to the reactions of HCl. Coming to the reactions of HCl, HCl is a very strong acid, stronger than sulfuric acid. The Ka value itself shows it is 10 to the power 7, so it ionizes. See what happens, you learned for sulfuric acid the Ka value, isn't it? So now HCl there, you learned the reaction with water. H3O plus Cl minus. So Ka value is 10 to the power 7. That shows how strong it is. It is a strong acid. Done? Prashant, you saw the board? Have you written? Okay, done. So there is one important, the most important question is aqua regia. So it dissolves gold and platinum. So that I will take it. So 4 minutes only are there. So the easy ones I can take now. Easy ones, ammonia plus HCl, NH3 plus HCl, NH4Cl. I don't have to write that. Now the next set, the last set of equation I will be writing now. There it is said that hydrochloric acid or hydrogen chloride can decompose salts of weak acids. So they have given 3 examples, Na2CO3, NaHCO3 and Na2SO3, salts of carbonic acid and sulfurous acid. So it can decompose. Those reaction I will write. Okay. So this reaction you learned in 10th. This is a salt of a weak acid. It can decompose. So you know that NaCl plus carbon dioxide plus water, isn't it? And so carbon dioxide, NaCl, carbon dioxide and water. So NaHCO3. Next, HCl, you will get NaCl plus carbon dioxide plus water, same way. So now the next, this two done. Next one is sodium sulfate, Na2SO3 plus HCl. You will get NaCl plus SO2 plus water. So these equations show that they decompose salts of weak acids. These are easy equations which you already learned. Okay, done? Want to see the board? See. Okay, so these are the So these are the.
Will we prepare aqua regia in the lab?
No. No. Equation we will learn tomorrow. Very interesting equation.
1:3 ratio.
Yes. No preparation there. In the lab, we don't prepare. And you want to dissolve gold and platinum. You will bring gold and platinum.
Ma'am, I don't have gold.
No, ma'am. Very
You will
costly.
take your mother's gold and come. I will tell your mother. He is planning to make aqua regia. Why do you want to dissolve? Okay, so that reaction we will not do in the lab. So any other doubt, children?
Ma'am, can you show the board 1 second?
Yes.
Ma'am, what are the uses of aqua regia, ma'am?
Aqua regia, suppose you want to make any compound of gold and platinum, or see the goldsmith, these people, they use a solution to clean gold. So it is aqua regia only. So like that, the uses are there. If you want to dissolve it for any purpose. And so these are also used in medicine also, colloidal gold. So there are different uses for preparing anything. Okay, children. So today's